YouTube, Happy New Year. We made it 52 weeks of full bodybuilding optimized living. um, I want to do a little bit of a recap from everything that I've learned throughout 2024 and talk about how optimizing my life for bodybuilding has changed a few things. So, first of all, optimizing whole foods, sleep, resistance training, and specifically supplements, salt baths, massage, physio, needling, all that stuff for recovery has played a huge role in not getting sick this entire year. Typically, I'll get a cold once, maybe twice. I'll kick it usually pretty quickly, but this year I haven't even had so much as a sore throat. And I flew international 6 times, to Asia 4 times, to Europe once, and to the US once. So I came in contact with thousands of people across the world, all their germs, and my immune system seemed to fight it off no problem. My back soreness that I used to feel in my lower back because of my hip tilt and poor strength in my spinal erectors, my coach with his chiropractic background has built my back up so much and made it so strong that the hip or the lower back pain that I felt is virtually gone. All the soreness I feel in my back is now muscular. I can feel the soreness and the tightness from the muscles and not necessarily the impingements and the sharpness of like nerve tenderness or those impingements in your low back. So it's been fantastic. I can probably also attest the non-sickness to not having any alcohol for a whole year. I can't say that I've felt much of a difference without drinking. I don't feel any better or any worse. I just know that I've avoided more social situations than normal because I'm prioritizing sleep. So I'm saying no to other people's time and saying yes to my time. And prioritizing that kind of stuff has made a very large difference in sleep quality and obviously muscle building. I've put on 7 pounds of muscle this year, and that's pretty insane. On the absolute real, after a year of training with my coach, I 100% believed prior to training with a coach that I could prepare myself for a classic bodybuilding show without a coach. And I'll tell you right now that my coached self would laugh my non-coached self off the stage. It's not even close. That you can't replicate the environment of one-on-one training, the intensity, the corrections, the bird's eye view of what's going on while you're in the moment. To think that I could study videos or workout plans and posing to bring myself to a competitive state is just, it's laughable at this point. I can't believe I ever thought that, and I'm so glad I hired a coach because it would have been embarrassing to myself, I think, had I not taken the appropriate steps. I'm not saying you can't do it self-taught, self-coached, but I think you're at a severe disadvantage because there's no way I can replicate the workout intensity that I get with my coach. I try and try and try, but your brain just, it's not as confident as someone seeing you, knowing you can do another rep or two. So that's my 2 cents on that aspect. But in terms of the gym, I want to talk about some takeaways that I got from my coach and from working out this year. Like I was just saying, the perception of what you feel and what you see is very different. You may think that you're imbalanced or off because you have certain mobilities that, like in my arm, on my right arm, I have more mobility because of throwing a baseball for my entire life. So everything feels much tighter on this side, even though everything is contracting to the same termination point. So that's one thing that my coach, I always felt like I was imbalanced, but he says it feels imbalanced, it's not actually imbalanced. The second thing is progressive overload has prevented me from actually building muscle size over the years because I was always trying to do whatever exercise I was working on over my workout routine for months at a time through my mesocycles, I would always try to, when I would come back to a certain exercise, either increase reps or increase weight with each set. And those incremental improvements certainly made me stronger over the years, but it didn't really add size. So chasing that progressive overload per se was not giving me the muscle growth that I could have been getting. So there's two very different styles of training, strength and hypertrophy, and I now have a much clearer picture on how that goes, and my size is representative of that new knowledge. 3, this comes back to ego. Constantly check your ego at the door. I use such little weights now, it's crazy. It's almost embarrassing to think that the weight I'm doing after 20 years is so small, but it's highly effective when you're actually training the target muscles, when you're actually compounding it with intensifiers and fatiguers. So you're able to get so much more ability and just performance out of your muscles if you tone down the weight, check the ego, and actually train things properly. My form on everything has gotten better, and I can say that I thought I was doing a great job. I was wrong again. Number 4, a written meal plan. 2 things. Having a written list of things that you have to eat meal-wise, it prevents you from asking that mundane, what are we having for dinner tonight question. And I hate that. I'd rather have boring food, chicken and rice every night, than have to wonder or create something that I'm going to make or order or whatnot. So to me, that makes life a lot easier. It removes a decision, so there's decision fatigue that accumulates throughout the day. No longer an issue, but having a meal plan will actually get you towards your goal, whether you're trying to build muscle in a surplus, lose fat in a deficit. If you're eating that meal plan 80 to 90% of the time, you can definitely have cheat meals. You can have those fries and burgers every once in a while, as long as you're maintaining the status quo of your meal plan a vast majority of the time. Number 5, this kind of comes back to what I was saying about the intensity of workouts. You are much more capable by probably double or more than what you think. Your thoughts are not actually you. Your brain tells you to quit and stop way before your body is ready. So that's why I think having a coach is so important. The ability to push into and lean into that pain that normally would make you stop is, I think that's where most of the muscle growth occurs. You know, when you're really leaning into that burn, I think that's what's really causing that muscle stimulation to grow. Number 6 is prioritizing your essentials to align with your goals, and this means maybe new friends, maybe no friends, maybe you're transitioning between a fitness group and a non-fitness group, but you're going to have new habits and new environments, and I think it's very important if you're trying to reach the goal to prioritize, because if that is your focus, you need to remove distractions from other parts of your life. There's only 24 hours in a day, so you've got to singularly focus your goal if that's what you're really trying to do. Master the basic fundamentals. This sounds obvious, but low-hanging fruit is the foundation of what everything else builds on. So drinking enough water to stay hydrated, crucial. Walking to help digestion and to help blood sugar, glucose, insulin sensitivity, all that stuff is regulated much better with a 10-minute walk after a meal. And then breathing for energy and focus. Those 3 things, water, walking, breathing, every morning can set the tone and help you throughout the day with all of the things that are going to pile on you. Number 8, I think a genetic ceiling is perhaps a fallacy. If you're stimulating your muscle to grow, you're doing all the correct recovery modalities, and you're eating enough protein and calories to stay in a surplus, I'm not quite certain that the genetic ceiling exists. It may slow, the progress may get tougher because you have to eat a lot more food and that gets more difficult. But theoretically, after this year, I don't think that a genetic ceiling is even close to 200 pounds for me. I'm 197 right now starting a prep, and so that'll come down a lot. But I feel like if I kept this going for more than 5-6 years, 210, 220 is not out of the question as a natural lifter. So it will require a shitload of eating and a lot of time and patience, but I think it's doable. Number 9, being more friendly and approachable at the gym. I've always heard that the biggest guys at the gym are the nicest. I've never really known that because I've put my earphones on and had "fuck you" on my forehead, go do my business and my lifting. But because my coach is involved in the community so much, I've been introduced to several massive bodybuilders at my gym, and they are absolutely just wonderful, nice people. We talk about various things in the locker room. We pump each other up, compliment, critique, whatever in the gym during lifts. So it's been kind of nice to be engulfed in the bodybuilding community and kind of be part of a scene that I've always been on the fringe of. Last but not least is enjoyment and fulfillment. Working towards a goal and feeling tangible results has made me feel like this is one of my best years yet. I have removed myself from a lot of social environments. I have spent less time with friends while I'm home, and typically those things would lead you to feel lonely or I don't know, a little sad. But honestly, working towards the goal, knowing that I'm removing something that is a distraction but focusing more on my goal has made me happier. So I think there's a lesson in that, and I think those are the 10 main takeaways I've had from the gym this year. I have to thank my coach a lot for a life-altering 2024, and we're going to continue it through 2025. So prep has officially begun. I just finished my 6th workout for the week, back day, and tomorrow is my 7th workout. It's a high-intensity cardio fat burning session. So 7 days a week, the diet is trimming down, and the intensity of workouts is going up. But 3 months from now, we are stepping on stage. So I will crush week 53 and let you know how it goes. See you then.